Okay, so I was listening to the wireless the other day. Now, there's a word we haven't heard in a long time. I'm such a Luddite. But I was forced to endure an advert calling for drivers to join Uber, proudly boasting that there were about 1,000 drivers already on the app. And sure enough, there are one or two black cab drivers on social media parroting the same line. It's what the public want, apparently, or words to that effect. And where have we heard that before? They frame it in a way to optimize earnings and maximize exposure. But here is the thing. Sometimes, just sometimes, the trade in and of itself matters. And for anyone who's convinced themselves that Uber is now some kind of friendly, benign ally of the cab trade, take a proper look at this.
In Tunbridge Wells in Kent, Uber have been granted a licence recently. There is a partnership between adjacent boroughs, and what we're seeing, it's adjacent to us, but it's not affecting us directly. But what we're seeing are Uber vehicles taking fares that are being heavily subsidised by Uber. So a £7.50 fare is being paid £7.50 to the driver. The general public is being charged £2.50 for that. In a kind of a deliberate strategy of making life very difficult for the taxi companies to compete. So when it comes to competition, I think there is very much a battle between local taxi companies and incoming national or global players that are looking at achieving domination before that whole reversal of pricing comes into play when the significant, call it investment, but the significant losses that they've accumulated over the last 10 years come to play.
So just to recap, according to trade representatives in Kent, Uber is slashing fares to force its way into the market. And let's be honest, this is the same predatory playbook they've used everywhere else. Let's be clear, this isn't competition, it's market sabotage. Undercut everyone, drag the industry into an unsustainable race to the bottom, and once the damage is done, once the local industry is weakened, then the prices go up. That is Uber's business model, full stop. And this is exactly the reason why the company cannot be trusted to do the right thing by the cab trade. And you might say, oh well, I could delete the app. What? After the data harvest? When the cab trade is sufficiently weakened? When both industries are conflated to the extent that there is no material distinction between the two tiers? Look at the history. Look at the pattern. Broken promises, regulatory evasion, and a trail of local firms left decimated. Why would we strengthen their position? The system doesn't even look after its own core workforce. It steers them, nudging, constraining, and extracting everything it can. And not only did it go into battle with them for 7 years to deny them workers' rights, it continues to manipulate the system they rely on. Check this out.
You think you're working for Uber, but what if Uber is working you? Let us talk about how Uber quietly outsmarts its drivers one algorithm at a time. You see a surge zone pop up. Extra cash, right? Not so fast. That surge is often delayed or based on historical data, not real-time demand. So by the time you get there, the surge has vanished. Classic bait and switch. Ever notice how a ride pays, say, £5 and 21 pence instead of £5 and 20 pence? That is not precision. It is a psychological trick. It makes drivers think there is a calculation behind it. But really, it is just smoke and mirrors. Each week, Uber shows you how much they took. Like, we took 23.47% this week. Looks scientific, right? But it is arbitrary. Just enough transparency to keep you confused, not informed. Do 5 trips, get £5. Oh, nice. But next thing you know, every trip after that is underpriced. Uber finds a way to get their £5 back. You win the battle, but lose the war.
So let's face it. Uber doesn't come into the market to coexist. It comes in to dominate, to extract, to make everyone dependent on its platform, its pricing, and its control. So, if there are cab drivers out there who are happy to suckle on the corporate teat and believe Uber has become this friendly, benign ally of the cab trade, I'm sorry, but you need to give your heads a very, very serious wobble. Uber isn't here to help you. Uber is here to finish the job it started, and the trade needs to see that before it is too late.